Hey everyone, I recently released a video going over the core game of Horizon Zero Dawn, and I mentioned in that video that I had all but one of the expansions, with the only expansion that I was missing being a Kickstarter exclusive that was heavily out of print. But I also mentioned that Steamforged had opened the vault and was reprinting certain things from some of their more popular games, so Horizon, Resident Evil, and the Dark Souls board game. And I did mention that I'm hoping to get it by the end of the year, and funnily enough, the second I turned off the camera, I had an email saying that this had been dispatched. So here it is. Here is my final expansion, the one thing that I was missing from the Horizon board game. Very excited to have this. This is the Heart of the Nora expansion. Now, originally I had planned to open each of the expansions one by one and show you each one in numerical order, but I'm going to go out of sequence. We're going to open up the Heart of the Nora expansion today, and we're going to see all of the lovely stuff that's inside of it. So this is the final expansion that I was missing. It was part of the original Kickstarter and they never reprinted it. In order to play this expansion, you actually require the Kickstarter exclusive set and the core game. If I just quickly show you the Kickstarter exclusive set, I'm not going to open this up as that'll be for another video, but this is the Kickstarter exclusives set. So I already had this because funnily enough they actually sold this individually on their website, so I was able to buy this directly from Steamforged Games quite a while ago, and this actually says Forge and Hammer required and core game, but we'll cover this in a later video. For now, we're going to open this brand spanking new expansion. Really excited. Let's have a look at the back. So this expansion's super interesting because it's actually a narrative expansion. It works quite differently to the main game. So you can see here the miniatures that you get in the box are 2 Corruptors and a Deathbringer. So they're called miniatures, but I suspect they're actually quite large. So it says here, the Heart of the Nora is an expansion for Horizon Zero Dawn, the board game, introducing an alternate play mode for narrative scenarios. Very cool. So there were some narrative scenarios that you could do with the Kickstarter exclusive set as well, but I think this is taking that even further. So you play as Aloy and Sona and take their fight to the Eclipse and their terrifying ancient machines. Very cool. Right, let's open this one up. Alright, really excited for this one because this was being a Kickstarter exclusive and being so heavily out of print. The only place that you could really get a hold of this after the campaign had ended was from resellers on eBay. And I kid you not, I can't say I saw a single one of these going for less than £200 to £300 just for this one expansion. And I get that it's like super rare and out of print, but that is just an unacceptable ask, quite frankly. So I'm really happy to finally have gotten this for around the retail price, which I think was £69 or £59, something like that. It was about the same cost as all the other expansions. So I've had a quick look at the other boxes to see if there's anything obvious about this one to say that it's a reprint, and the only thing that I could really tell was that the Steamforged Games logo is slightly different, and that on the back it says copyright Steamforged Games 2023, whereas the other ones just say Steamforged Games. They don't specify a year. That's the only thing that I can notice. Right, enough blabbering, let's open this up. Okay, so to begin with, we have the Heart of the Nora instruction manual. So this is going to have all of the contents, and it's going to talk about the narrative scenarios you can see here. So it explains what you need to do and all that kind of stuff, so that's pretty cool. So move that to one side. Here we have a construction guide for the Deathbringer, so they often do this if machines come in multiple parts. This one looks like it's just 2 bits that stick together, so that shouldn't be too complicated. Then under that we have some special tiles, so presumably you would use these tiles combined with the tiles from the base game, so let's have a look at that. Okay, so these aren't technically tiles, they are actually a complete board. So some of the larger expansions do this as well, where it's 4 connected pieces. Down here you can see it's a full board with basically 4 tiles all squared together, and this is going to be the layouts that you would use to fight the Deathbringer, I assume. Alright, next up let's take this out. I think all that's going to be left will be the minis and the cards. To start off with, let's have a look at this Corruptor. Very cool. So it's actually a black miniature instead of the grey that you would normally get for these ones. So that makes it quite interesting. Well, I guess it's more like a dark grey than a light grey, but still. Very cool. So we should have 2 corruptors in the box. Very cool. So we get 2 of these. The corruptors are very menacing if you play them against them in the main video game. Then the final mini is this Deathbringer. We've also got some more cards down there. So this is his base, an absolutely huge base. And you can see all of these spidery legs. And then here's the top of him. So let's have a look. It looks like it goes together like this. I don't think you could really classify this as a miniature, but that is super awesome. So the Deathbringer is one of the final bosses that you fight in Horizon Zero Dawn. You do face them multiple times, I think. They are very, very strong and very menacing. That is awesome. Right, let's have a look at some of the cards. Okay, so on top we have the behavior cards, presumably for the Corruptor and the Deathbringer. Yep, so we'll have a look at those in a sec. And then underneath that we have all the other cards. So let's look at these ones first. Okay, so looking through this deck, it looks like we have some scenarios to play. So this is 1K and 2K, which I believe are boards from the Kickstarter exclusive set. And it says 1-9. Don't really know what that means. We have 2-12, so that's 1, 2, and 3K. I don't know what these symbols down here mean. This is definitely different to how the main game works. We have the outskirts of Mother's Heart. Purging the Corruption, and this means the main board that comes in the expansion. So this is where you would face the Deathbringer, so that is where you would start, and then this is where the Deathbringer would start on the board. Or I think actually that is where the icon is on the board, something like that, but that's definitely where the Deathbringer starts. Very cool. Underneath that we have the behavior decks. So we have Corruptor, 1, 2, 3, 4 cards for the Corruptor. So you would place them face down, shuffle them, and see what they do. And then we have the Deathbringer quite a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for the Deathbringer. So the Deathbringer has a lot of different things he can do. Let's have a look. Character within 2 squares, yes. And then it does a ranged attack for 2. Sorry, no, a range of 2 for 4 damage. And then that, I think, is a burst. And it does that twice. I'm not entirely sure what that would mean. I guess the instructions will explain. You can see in the corner it says HZDHN, so that's Heart of the Nora, so that's just the signifier for this set. Very cool. So a very simple set. So I think you need this combined with the Kickstarter exclusives to actually play. Let's have a quick look at the other cards, and then just 2 more cards. So we have the information cards for the Corruptor and the Deathbringer, so you can see the health, and down here you can see abilities that they have. On the back we have the various components, so heat core, grenade launcher, and spike launcher. Oh, it says damage inflicted to this component is applied directly to the enemy's HP. Interesting. I'm not sure why you would target it then if it makes no difference. And then here is the Deathbringer itself. Quite a lot of health on him. And he has a lot of components, as you can see on this one. You've got heat cores, repeater cannons, flamethrowers, and stabilizers. So very busy, that one. So that is the Heart of the Nora expansion. I'm very happy to finally have this one. I'd say it's definitely not a must buy. You know, I only got this because it was the only one missing from my collection. If you were looking for an expansion to play with your friends, then I don't think this is the one for you. I'm pretty sure that this is a 1 to 2 player expansion. Yeah, the box says 1 to 4 players, but it might be 1 to 2 players. But anyway, this one is quite different to the main game, so if you wanted something different, then that's definitely pretty cool. But also, just for the miniatures, I think this would look really nice painted. I'm not going to paint them because my painting skills are atrocious. But yeah, very happy to have this one. So in future videos, I'll be going through the other expansions. We've got a whole lot more to go after this, so thanks for watching. See you next time.